Hello, everybody. It's Gio Aridis, Director of the Real Estate Investment Group with Nationwide, and we're here in Las Vegas. Need just a moment here while I get the team. If anybody wants to join, I don't know where they're going to be. But I wanted to take a minute today to talk about a topic that I actually get asked a lot about. And it's a topic that is becoming more and more relevant in this day and age, because you're starting to see this emergence of the discount broker. And the reasons for that we can talk about it another time, but here's some things that have happened recently to me that I think anybody that is considering using a discount broker to sell and market their home for sale should know, or at least should hear. You who know me know that I'm also a real estate investor first and an agent second. And through the years, I've had an opportunity to interact with these discount brokers, both as a private sale myself before I had a license, and then also on the other side of it, which is the agency side of it. So I know what it's like to deal with them and what to expect as an actual client, and I know what to expect as an agent. So I think it's important that everybody kind of know this and have some experience, especially those of you that have never had this experience of selling a house. So discount agents are becoming more and more popular, just as the market becomes more competitive and as we have these technology disruptors that are coming in like Opendoor and OfferPad. And it's interesting, and you should watch some of their stuff on these Opendoor and OfferPad too, but they actually end up costing you more, like 15%, instead of like 6 or 7 that you're paying an agent to sell your house. It ends up calculating out to be about 15%. So anyhow, it's sold under convenience, and so that convenience is bumping people out of the market. That convenience is bumping agents and starting to make this a more competitive environment. So to run an agency, even if you're just a sole agent, to run your businesses typically costs you on average about 1 to 1.5, 1.25%, depending on how you run your business. So and it's calculated out. Each property tends to be about that percentage. So agents who are charging only this small amount or flat fee, even, so I'm seeing that up in San Francisco area, and that's about to infect the luxury market throughout the country. Look out, New York, it's coming. But they're not able to give you a full spectrum of service, and what ends up happening is you end up selling your house for less money, and you end up kind of leaving a little bit on the table too. It's sold under convenience though, and so it's interesting because it's actually an inconvenient convenience. I'll give it to you as the client first. So my first experience, and I can't name names, my first experience with a discount agent came when I was not licensed, and my family and I were selling a property. And of course, you want to save as much money as possible when you're dealing, especially when you're dealing with numbers that matter. So, all right, cool, we'll get interviewed. So we went and it actually wasn't my decision; it was my partner's decision to try them out in this particular instance, and I'm glad we did. And I'm also glad that at the time the cost of the property wasn't enormous, so the amount of money that we were dealing with was smaller than if we had been using a larger property. But the discount agent is basically charging you a fee to list your property on the MLS, and then it's a for sale by owner pretty much from that point forward. So you are paying to be listed on the MLS, and normally from the majority of the agents that I've become accustomed to, discount agents that I've become accustomed to, that is pretty much all they do. They list your house, and then they'll put your number on the listing so that they call you directly, and you have to schedule your own open houses, and you have to see all of your own clients. The clients and the agents that are coming will come directly to you. Most of them will typically want to negotiate with you on the spot, which when you're dealing with a pro, you're dealing with somebody who negotiates for a living, and a lot of these agents are doing this for a living, they'll negotiate with you on the spot. You have little or no representation. You can make a phone call, but good luck getting through and good luck being a priority, because the agent that's you have a contract with, they're barely making enough to break even. Their financial interest just isn't there, which is one of the reasons why these technology companies are coming in and disrupting the market. But that's, again, a conversation for another time. So that's from the client side of things. There's really no push to get the most money. There's no marketing help whatsoever. So if you don't have the MLS is your marketing, and so you're dealing basically with agents, and then you're acting as your own showing agent. So if that appeals to you, cool. But on the flip side of it too, it's a fact that when you use an agent, because of the methods that agents use, you're likely to get more than what you would get from a for sale by owner, and congruently a discount listing for the most part, because you're pretty much naked and you have no help, you have no assistance in the marketing. So you're taking money right off the top, and you're kind of shortchanging yourself a little bit with what you could be getting for the property. You're making it more difficult to show the property, to get people into the property, and even more difficult because you got to negotiate the deal yourself. And if you think you're a good negotiator, great, but you're going up against, I hate to say it, but guys like me and women like me who are trained in negotiating. We have certificates, and we've taken endless hours of education, and we have endless hours of experience. So unless you're negotiating on a regular daily basis and you're trying to negotiate the sale of your own house and you haven't sold a house in a number of years, I mean, you're just disadvantaged. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but you're disadvantaged. So anyhow, that's from the client side. From the agent side, which is interesting, let's say that you're okay with all that, and you still have, the agent, and the agent's name is on it. The agent has to participate in certain things. So it was an interesting experience. And again, I'll share an experience without naming any names. But we were representing a legitimate buyer that had a complete credential resume of being able to easily perform on the price of the property. And so we reached out and tried to figure out how we're going to submit the offer. The site that was listed on the listing, because sometimes they will make you go to a site to submit an offer, so that they don't even want to get on the phone a lot of times, these agents, and discuss the offer. They just want you to submit it through a system. And for REOs it's good, but for just your average person that's selling a house, average person selling, when you have a qualified buyer who's represented by an agent, and this is who you're attracting when you list with the MLS. So when you do this discount listing, this is who you're marketing to. It's bad when they're nasty. And I will say that the majority of the ones that I've dealt with are typically, they're just uninterested. And again, it's financially motivated for the most part, but most of them they pass you off to somebody who's just like a service processor, and they can't answer your questions. They don't care to answer your questions. Submit an offer, and that's it. There's no personalization, personal touch to any of this. And here are people who want to buy your house. They want to buy your house. They're excited about living there. I mean, that right there is the thing that everybody that's in residential real estate that is not an investor, just your regular, owner-occupied sells and buys. That's what you strive for, to have a buyer that likes your place and is sincere about it. When that's not present, and or when that's present, but then it's not being received by the other side, that's a tough sale. That's a really tough sale, because now we feel like we're fighting, and it shouldn't feel like a fight. It should feel like a dance. That's what the use of agents are for. But removing them and going with a discount agent can sometimes create that animosity between the parties, and from there, I'll tell you, things can really go wrong. And I've seen a lot of deals get lost simply because the agents that were representing it were just trying to pay their bills with your deals, because they're breaking even. So it helps them to break even. And then the bigger fish that are on the table, the ones that they're able to, the few that are left out there that are able to negotiate more, they're the ones that are getting the attention. I experienced that much as a client, and I experienced that as an agent over and over when I deal with these discount brokerages. So beware. If you are seriously thinking about doing it, if your house is in the fat of the market, really it's about 250 to about 465, 475,000. If your house is in that fat part of the market, you may be better off going to an open door or an offer pad and just getting an offer and doing it. And you're going to take a haircut on the price, but it's going to be a quick and guaranteed deal. We also offer a service. My team actually offers a service for a small flat rate. We'll actually go through that contract with you before you sign it and help you to understand it so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. My biggest complaint that I get from clients, and I'll do another piece on this, but the biggest complaint I get from clients working with those online companies is that they really didn't understand what was going on, and they felt like that other client, they thought that other agent that works on that side that's talking to you has your best interest in mind, but they actually work for the buyer. Anyhow, thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And anybody who has anything that they want to talk about on this topic, if there's more to it that you'd like to discuss, please let us know.